Welcome back to the channel, everybody. It's been a rough few months. I've started and stopped about 4 different series, but I think I finally got something here that's gonna be in for the long haul, as we are about a month away from Farming Simulator 25's first release. So, in the past, if you've watched any of my videos, I'm not the best at doing the roleplay videos, but that's what we're going to give a shot on this series. So this is going to kind of link us back to what we started back on my original Moose Farms series. But here's the storyline for you. We are back home in Nebraska on the family farm. A few years ago, graduated high school, went off and joined the Army for 8 years, came back, used my GI Bill, went and got an ag degree with a little bit of business management with it, and now we have returned home and we are now helping Grandpa on the family farm with the goal of eventually taking over the operation completely ourselves. So we are in March right now. I am currently laying down anhydrous here right next to the farmyard. I'll give you guys a little tour in a little bit. But yeah, so we got a lot of our starting equipment matches what what my grandfather had on the farm up until around the time that he actually retired in real life. This farm build is actually one that I've been working on. I know you've heard me talk about waiting for some Nebraska maps and stuff to come out. I started trying to build my own map to do this, and I failed on that about 3 or 4 different times. And then we started and stopped a series on Loma, Montana, and we started and stopped a series on was it Carroll, Iowa? We started and stopped on. Then we did a couple episodes on Hubbard, Nebraska, and stopped. We did a couple episodes on Forest River, North Dakota, and stopped. But this one, we should be in for the long haul. So this farm build, I'm actually using Midwest Horizon is the map that I'm using. No, I didn't end up using a Nebraska map. St. Edward did finally come out. Hubbard, Nebraska finally come out. Those may make an appearance in this series in the future. But for this farm, we're starting off on Midwest Horizon. I actually found a plot of land that, although the elevation and whatnot is not a match, with the creek running through, the layout was pretty close to what the actual layout of my grandfather's farm that I grew up on. So we have the farmyard here. We have a couple of cattle pens, a couple of pig pens that are no longer in use. When I was younger, we did raise both cows and pigs, but as both his kids and his grandkids got older and moved on to other things, and it was left to just Grandpa to farm by himself, the livestock went by the wayside, and he focused mainly on agriculture. Mainly the corn and the beans. So we'll give a tour here in a little bit. So this main part of the farm right here is actually a pretty close representation of what that farm looked like when I grew up. There are some of the outlying areas of these fields are close, but they're not exact. But it is the best that I could come up with after probably 3 or 4 months of trying to do this. So we're going to get some of this anhydrous in the ground. Grandpa's actually over on the north half of the property right now, taking care of disking up last year's corn stubble, because that's where the beans are going to go down this year. This was soybeans last year, and we plowed that under, put some lime down, and now we're coming over the top with semi-anhydrous to get ready for corn. So some of the things that are the same: the layout of the farm, the cold storage shed, the grain bins. Some of the layout of the farmyard is close to what it was when I was younger. Obviously, I couldn't replicate the house, so I got the closest model I could. Another thing that's going to be the same is the tractors. Now, when I grew up, when I was still in high school and I was still on the working on the farm, we had 3 case tractors. We had a 2090, a 2290, and a 2390. As I grew up, I actually did join the Army in real life, but I stayed for more than 8 years. I ended up doing 20 years. Now I'm retired. So this is what life would have been like if I would have done really what I wanted to do, or wish I could have done. But after I moved off, and as Grandpa kept farming, he upgraded. He ended up later having a 2594, a 7110, and an 8930. So we are in the 8930 here, putting down anhydrous. He is in the 7110 over disking, and I'll show you that here in a second because it says actually course play says blocked by an object. So he probably ran into one of my drain tiles. He sure did. One thing about course play, it does not pick up these drain tiles for whatever reason. So we will take care of this. Also, this case 490 disc that I'm using has somehow already lost almost all of its paint after just 10 acres. So this is the north half of the farm. This is the 7110 on the Case IH 490 disc, but we won't be using that too much as we move forward in this series. Let me get him back going here on the course play. There's the 2290 in the cold storage shed with the loader on it. We also have a international straight truck over there in our planter. I'm going to get back going here on the anhydrous. Got a little bit left on this. So do I start off and give you guys a time lapse? Trying to decide if I want to give you guys a time lapse or if I just want to do all this off camera and then come back and give you guys a tour. I think since the tour is probably going to take a little bit of time, I'll go ahead and cut that out. So I'm going to finish doing semi-anhydrous right here. But welcome back to the series. I'm going to get this done and then we'll come back and maybe I'll get a map tour and maybe a little bit of the corn planting here on this first episode of this newest series. Haven't come up with a name for it yet as I'm recording. Obviously by the time this is posted on YouTube that you guys are watching it, it will have a name. But as I'm recording, I haven't I haven't decided if I'm going to go back and use Moose Farms, if I'm going to go back and use my Nebraska Farmer. I'm thinking about just using a Moose Farms and making this a continuation of that series I started months ago. So, but anyway, I'm going to get this anhydrous done and I'll come back for a map tour and then we'll finish off this video probably in April when it comes time to get some corn in the ground. Alright, we're back. We've got the anhydrous in. Grandpa's making some progress with the disc over here. So we'll give you a little bit of a farm tour. So like I said, this farmyard is based on our farmyard when I was growing up. If you've watched any of my previous videos, I think I've highlighted that a couple times, even kind of zoomed in and shown it on Google Maps. So we got our cold storage shed here. Back when we did livestock, our sorting and loading pen was right here, but since we're not running livestock anymore, we've taken that fence out. The cattle pens and pig pens are still here, but those will probably go away in the near future. We got our two 12,000 bushel bins here with a little bit more storage here around the back. Got our sprayer, our lime spreader, our combine parked there. Our auger, gravity wagon, auger wagon, workshop. Got our anhydrous tank in our other pig pen there. Like I said, the property we own, right now I have it separated into the north half and the south half. Some of this is realistic to the layout that we had growing up, and some of it's not. There's Grandpa again in the 7110. He's making some good progress. So like I said, we are on Midwest Horizon, and the property that I am using for this is around field 16, field 17. So if you know the map, you know that area. But this map was built with a natural creek running through this area. So what I did is I went into Giants Editor. I got rid of all of the trees. I got rid of the pre-existing farm that was here. Got rid of all of the plants that were in the creek bed on the other side. This is the natural position of the creek bed. I haven't done any editing to this. I am using the row crop ready version of this map though, so the water plane is not there. In the normal version of the map, there is water in this ditch. So this part is natural, but it so closely resembles the layout of how our farm was. I kept it there, and then I put in a reuse pit because that's what we had way back when Grandpa's farm was getting put together. The dirt that they used to level out the farmyard and the driveway and everything came out of that hole, and then it became a natural reuse pit for us. It drains out here the other side. This was the creek bed, but like I said, I took out all the plants, all the trees, and kind of leveled it off. And it drains off here to the north, and then it'll hit. We got one drain tile receiver here. We got this normal, this natural low area here. We have another drain tile inlet right here that then drives in. So this is the portion of the pre-existing creek that I left. And if you look inside these weeds right here, there is our drain tile outlet into the ditch, feeds into another reuse pit, and then around and drains into this ditch that then runs off into the distance. So that's what we've done there. There was another natural creek in a couple of farmyards off this direction, so we leveled off all the land, got rid of all the buildings, and then I put a couple of more drain tile receivers down through here, off into this tree line over here where this other creek disappears, or comes from. So this water drains out from behind the trees, comes through here, a couple of drain tiles to help with erosion. This is the eastern boundary of our land. And then we go all the way north to this road here. So my other goal for this map is to build up to where I can purchase one of the neighboring properties. I don't think I'm going to go with this one across the way, even though it's got some barns, it's got some area to run some cattle. I don't know that I'm going to run any livestock yet, so we are actually going to take you over here and show you the property that we are actually looking at. Got the little dirt path here that cuts the north from the south. So I'm waiting. So I put lime down on both of the fields that I just put anhydrous on. And my lime spreader said it covered 80 acres, but after I put anhydrous down, my anhydrous bar said it covered 300 acres. I know it's not 300 acres, so I'm still trying to figure out exactly where the cutoff is. But we got this dirt path runs off to to the road there to the west, and then into the field here to the east. But the property I have my eyes on to purchase for my own use is this property right here that's right next door, because I could then bring this dirt path across and connect it right into this driveway. It would come with that field right there to the right, and also this other field here to the left, along with that house and cold storage shed. So that's the property I have my eyes on. It looks like there's some, those almost look like pivot tracks there, but I don't see a center pivot. There might have been in the original map, there might have been a center pivot park there, but so to give you an idea, and it's not going to save good. So the property I'm looking at then would be, here is the house, so it comes with property 134. We need $235,000 with that, and then I would get 146. That's 133. So we need to make around $500,000 to be able to get that, and then I would make some adjustments to the layouts of these fields over here to implement these two fields here, and then I would have my own place there, because I have some plans that I want to do with the main farmyard. It's like I said, it's something majorly different than anything I've ever done on this game before, but I decided I wanted to change it up and try to make an attempt at doing at least a little bit of role play here. So we'll see how this all works out. So I'm going to drive back over here and get everything ready to start planting in April, and then we will come back and finish off the video with that. So we got to go over here and park at the cold storage shed. And we're going to get the planter out, and we're going to go ahead and get it filled up and ready to go. So we're going to park there. Got the 8930 in here. One thing that we do, that I'm going to have to do already, is I have a 12-row planter that we just upgraded to. We had an 8-row header, so I'm going to have to upgrade, probably do a 12-row header and then either a 30 or a 35-foot grain platform for the beans, but we'll worry about that. We'll worry about that in the fall after we sell. Oh, we do have some beans. We sold last year's corns, but we do have about $130,000 worth of beans waiting for the price to get up to the top spot in July. So let's get the planter unfolded. I'm going to see which button I need to... Oh, come on. Is there a button to open the cover? Yep, Z, it's already open. There we go. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go in here and jump in the 2290 and get some seed. I'm going to go here and open the door. I guess I was too close to I was too close to that door, so never mind then. We are going to unhook our trailer there. Oh, I forgot, I need to get out and put the forks on the front of the loader. We're going to pick up one of these pallets and lift it over the... It's kind of precarious, but I got it. We're going to go lift this over the back of the planter and get some seed in here. There we go. Just like that. Look at that aim. Alright, so we're going to finish getting the planter set up for corn in April, and we will be back when it's time to start planting. Alright, we've made it to April. We're getting the corn in the ground. We just refilled, so when we get back to the other end, you'll see the 2290 sitting there with our seed pallet. We got our, did a couple of north-south headlands on the two edges. Now we're going to go east-west here until we get to the tree line. An excellent field to start out with to showcase row crop ready for those of you that have not seen that yet here in Farming Simulator 22. Row crop ready, basically modders figured out how to edit the map files to get the crops to grow in multiple directions instead of just popping up in one straight line regardless of which direction you drive the planter. So now the crops will grow exactly in the line that the planter has driven, and you'll see that up here when I get to the edge of the field. You'll see where this direction of the rows will switch from east-west to north-south. So we'll show you that here in a little bit. Actually, in a little bit, by a little bit I mean right now. So there you can see where my north-south rows are in my east-west rows. So we're gonna pick the planter up and we're gonna turn around and head back the other way. But we're gonna finish getting this corn in the ground. I did finish doing the math. I think we're somewhere around 160 acres, but I'm not sure. Because if you see here, the north half is fields 15 through 18, or 15 through 19, and the south half is fields 12 through 14, but when I go to my field calculator, it's saying the south half is twice as big as the north half, but when you look at the map, they both look about the same. So we'll see what number the planter has on it when we get done here. Welcome back to Moose Farms. I'm going to go ahead and finish off with a little bit of time-lapse of getting the corn in the ground, and we will be back later this spring with some more farming action. As always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and hopefully I'll be back to posting regular content for you guys. Sit back and enjoy. We're going to get some corn in the ground.